Greetings, YouTube. It is a very strange time to review a Crystal Shard offer because we are less than 2 weeks away from Cyber Weekend, where we will presumably have a ton of Crystal Shard opportunities, not just for 5 and 6 star crystals, which are the bare minimum at this point, but especially class-based and basic Nexus crystals. 5-star Nexus crystals, 6-star Nexus crystals, 6-star class-based crystals, maybe Cavalier crystals. That is my hope, and I will be doing, the week leading up to Cyber Weekend, my 2 video series. I'll show you what it was in the past, and then I'll do a wish list, what I hope to see. And last time, quite frankly, my wish list was exceeded, especially with the 6-star generic Awakening Gem, which I didn't think they would put in because that basically made the biggest accomplishment in the game up to that point, which is 100% exploring the Abyss, the same if you just throw a few $100s their way, which I guess shouldn't be that surprising. But we do have, indeed, Crystal Shard bundles. And the confusing thing about these bundles to start off is that they cut off at uncollected. So that means uncollected players, you are going to have a better value with these than Cavalier or especially Thronebreakers, because you don't have access to Thronebreaker dailies. You don't have access to Cavalier crystals, to Cavalier Nexus crystals. The only time I think you have access to Cavalier crystals is with the early access bundles, where the cutoff for progression usually is uncollected. It's almost Kabam's way to not only get money out of you, but to give you incentives to say, hey, once you become Cavalier, these things can become your reality for units. Speaking of 4 units, these are 4 unit offers. Now, the first one, 1,000 units for 7,500 5-star shards and 2,000 4-star shards. 1,000 units, if you aren't hip to it, even though nobody says that anymore, is about $35, a little bit more than that, 15 units worth of units, about $35 worth of units. So $35 for these players gets them 75% of a 5-star and a 4-star. I think this is probably worth about 500 units at this point to most players, but that would be under the circumstance where it wasn't 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks away from Cyber Weekend, right? Like if this was not November 14th, but instead August 14th, I would say, okay, like I can see progressing players being tempted by this. But remember, if you want to become uncollected, for example, before Cyber Weekend, take the 1,000 units you're going to spend on this offer, where you'll probably get a 5-star Groot, and use them on revives to beat the collector in Act 5, Chapter 2, and become uncollected to get better offers for Cyber Weekend. I can't tell you how many people have made that mistake, and then they say, I don't have enough revives to beat content. Well, have you bought any offers lately? Yeah, I bought that 5-star shard bundle and got trash. Well, it's because it's the Marvel Casino of Champions. Mostly it's going to give you trash. So take the 1,000 units, use them on level 2 revives, and become uncollected. So speaking of uncollected, this is not a terrible offer for uncollected players. Although, if you were to buy all 4 to have a chance for a 6-star, it would cost almost 6,000 units, which is legitimately crazy. I think this is a retail price offer for Cavalier members. This is 1,450 units, which sounds awfully familiar because that's the exact same amount of units you get for buying a Black Panther's treasure. But even if you had the units and you don't have to spend a penny, like let's say you're a free-to-play player, on Cyber Weekend, you're not only going to get 5 and 6-star shards and probably Nexus crystals instead of these, you're going to get rank-up resources and maybe, just maybe, some 6 stones. And it's probably going to be 1,000 units for that intro price, not 1,450. So you're way better off hoarding your units in 2 weeks than you would buying these. I always say this, though, with caution. The reason why I say that it's the Marvel Casino of Champions, not only because of the RNG drop rates, but it's because people are addicted to opening crystals. I know people who've said, Prof, if I don't go to your channel and look at your breakdowns, I will buy every offer no matter what because I feel like I have to. That is what we call an addiction, people. And an intervention normally needs to happen during this time. You can become just as addicted to opening crystals as you are throwing money at a slot machine or any other addiction. It gives you a dopamine high in your brain similar to, yes, a drug or a slot machine. So Be responsible with your units, and by be responsible today, I mean save them or save your cash if you don't have units for 2 weeks from now. If you're going to spend, give yourself the best possible value for your money and your units. Today's just not it. It'd be a decent value for uncollected players if it was August and not November, but that is not the world that we live in. So, save your units for Cyber Weekend. These offers are not amazing. That is the takeaway. Have a great rest of your weekend.